What is up, YouTube? It's Malorn here, and I'm here with another wonderful video for you guys today. As you can tell, we are currently in a Monstrodome. Now, you may be wondering what we're doing in a Monstrodome and why there are 4 Lord Nightshades in front of me. Like, what? I mean, rank 3? Hello? But, in all honesty, Lord Nightshade, and keep in mind that the drops in the Monstrodome are never the same as the drops, as, you know, with the actual boss drops outside of it. And they don't drop very often. They are typically very rare drops, and Lord Nightshade specifically drops a few rare housing items. Now, these housing items aren't just any housing item, they're very interesting. KI has come up with a weird, very, very weird obsession with small food items. I don't know where it came from, just out of nowhere. I mean, they even gave us a code for like 7 small food items. They even gave, well, they also gave us a computer in their defense, so you can't completely say that, but that's a lot of housing items, and that's a lot of food. Alright, they gave us a freaking pizza, for Christ's sake. Now, what I'm going to show you, I recently got these in my friends. There's, one is called the banana for scale. It's a small banana. And then there's a roasted drumstick. And these are both small food items. That's the banana for scale. And then we've got the roasted drumstick right here. I mean, these are items that, you know, you can't really get anywhere. My voice is cracking. You can't really get these anywhere else except for this fight. Another thing you want to keep in mind is not every Monstrodome creature drops the same things. They all have their own kind of unique drops, and not all of them are housing items. So you want to keep that in mind whenever you're farming, because there are very specific bosses that are going to drop the rare items that you want, and you're going to be very disappointed if you just go and straight up farm Lady Black Hope or something the whole time. Like, to be honest, and this area of the game is very, very mysterious. No one really knows anything about it. The information I got about Lord Nightshade, you know, everyone who watches my videos, you most likely know by now that I'm in a very, very large trade community, and within that trade community, you know, I have people that inform me of things, and one of them is an ex-Pirate101 wiki master from Pirate101 Central, and he's actually friends with ex-Wizard101 Central wiki master. That's where he heard it from. So, you know, right off the bat, I get a fish and a sundae. The sundae's common, you know, but I don't know about that fish. Let's see. Yeah, see, no, I got a fish. And I think a lot of these items are actually the code items. I'm pretty sure I'm getting some copies, because that fish didn't even have to load in. The roasted drumstick, on the other hand, it's clear that that is one that we didn't get from the code, so that is a rare drop, only specific to Lord Nightshade. Now, from what I know, there's a few other bosses in the spiral that have been tested to have, you know, the drop a few items. Unfortunately, as I was saying about 3 minutes ago, there's no way of telling who drops what. Alright, unless you know someone who happened to get a drop from one of these bosses, there's no way to know. Alright, I don't know what it is about the wikis, you know, what they've been doing. Obviously, these items are not rare drops, but they are specifically, you only get them from this. I don't know what they've been doing lately. I can't tell you, because there is almost no information on the wiki about it. This goes for items, housing items and stuff that have been fished from fishing chests as well. There is very, very little information available. These are subjects that apparently, you know, they're not of the utmost importance to Wizard101 Central or to Pirate101 Central, and, you know, to the wiki masters who are making that website. And, you know, because of this, all of this information, all of this amazing information is just, it's passing by, and they're not doing anything about it. You know, if you notice, you know, they put together teams and stuff for all of these other things, like going to different bosses and finding out what their natural attack, how much their natural attack does, you know, how much damage. They had a whole freaking system. It was a project on their wiki site. Alright? It was an actual project. They had an announcement like, hey, by the way, guys, you know, go and find this information. But you know, and they claim to be this great source of information too. But lately, they've really been falling behind. Anyone who's been paying attention, their community is dying. All right, I don't say dying lightly. I take that word, especially when it comes to Wizard101, I take it very hard because, you know, people just throw it out like it's candy, and it's not. You know, Wizard101 isn't anywhere close to dying. Those are my thoughts on it. But if we look at Wizard101 Central, it's a lot easier to tell when a fan site or a website is dying down than it is a video game, because the website, you're actually, everything is in front of your face. You know, especially with a forum, you see, you know, all of these different posts, they're disappearing over time, slowly and there's less of them, right? And that's what's happening at Central. But, you know, with Wizard101 or a video game, there's no way to tell unless you actually have the numbers, you know, from the game itself, and no one really does, except for KI, but they're not going to release that. Anyways, so I know I kind of tore in the Wizard101 Central there for a second, and if any of them are watching this video, you know, I don't mean it to just be a jerk, but you, come on, what are you doing? You know, you can't keep claiming to be this great source of information, and the only reason you can right now is because you're really the only source of information. No one's done anything to kind of stand up and say, hey, you know, I'll do this too. Everyone's kind of goes to Central, and because of that, they kind of have a monopoly over it, I guess you could say, right? But they've been falling behind ever since Polaris. All of this information is outdated, you know. Another thing to kind of keep in mind, if you want like fishing guides and stuff, it's usually better to go to Duelist 101. But as for fishing chests, they haven't really done anything on those yet either. Right now, there's just no information available for it, and it's really kind of sad. Because these are really cool items, and these are really fun activities. But the people who enjoy these activities aren't the kind of people that you see going and becoming like bookkeepers or like historians of Wizard101. You know, that's basically what wiki masters are. You know, my friend even pointed out, he was like, you'll almost never see a wiki master in PvP, never, and most of them aren't very good at PvP at all. And his reason for that was, you know, these people they're kind of like the scholars of the spiral, right? Their job is to go around the spiral and collect information and add it to the wiki and stuff, you know. But very little of that information has anything to do with PvP. PvP is straightforward. As long as you know how to use the spells and you have the best gear and stuff, you're good to go. And honestly, it's just if you go first in the battle, but yeah. There's not much to PvP, and even if there was, it's probably already on the wiki. All of that information is usually the major stuff that gets added first. Alright, let's see, we've got, what, 2 or 3 roasted drumsticks so far? So, obviously these aren't really rare, which is weird because my friend was having a lot of trouble getting these drops, and I don't know why, because I'm getting them one after another. You know, I can't imagine it was that hard for him. Okay. Wonder if I'll get a pizza. I doubt I'll get a pizza. I don't know if that's going to drop here. Granted, I did get a fish, so I guess anything's possible. So far, it's looking like the fish is kind of the rare drop, though, because I've gotten, you know, the banana for skill, and I've gotten the roasted drumstick, and I've only got 1 fish from here. So it's looking like that's the really rare item. Dude, I really freaking love the Monstrodome. I can't get enough of this. I wish every area in the game had this much detail. Like, look at that. That is just so cool. You know? I also want to know what these words mean. I don't know if they're just made up or something, but they look really cool. know. Like, there for a second it almost looked like actual English, but then it's, you know, everything's slightly different. So it's obviously not English, I mean, but something similar possibly. Well, I don't think I'm going to be getting anything else from this battle. And I didn't want this video to be too long, so after this I'll probably end it. Keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this, not Monstrodome specific, but involving rare housing items, because this is a topic in Wizard101 that doesn't get a lot of attention. And it's really, really kind of sad because a lot of these items, they're only rare because people don't go out and get them. You know, they're not hard to get. With the Avalon fishing thing, I've got all of them now. I've got every single item from Avalon fishing. I did that and I still had time for everything else in real life. So, you know, it doesn't take long to get these things. You can, in 30 minutes, you can get like 3 or 4 items from fishing in Avalon, you know. And then there's an item in Azteca called the hide tent, you know, and I went there, I'll do like 1 or 2 more. I went there and I fished for, what, 5 minutes and I got it? I mean, these aren't hard items to get. They're not difficult at all. But people don't go out and try and get them. And it's obvious to me that the roasted drumstick and stuff, they're not hard to get either. You just have to put a little bit of time into it, you know. However, there is one set of items in the game that's very, very difficult to get, and I've been trying to track these down forever. The piggy bank, and then the gumball machine. Now, the reason these are really hard is because they're daily quest specific items. One of them I believe you can get from the Great Muda statue, which is in that little portable arena. I forgot what the bundle was specifically called, but you can get them from there. And as we all know, the daily quests, you only get the chest once every, what is it, once a week or some crazy thing like that. So your chances of getting these items are really, really low. And it's unfortunate. But if you have, you know, if you have 6 wizards in your account, I guess, you know, your chances kind of go up and stuff. But if you have multiple accounts, though, that might work. But you'd have to have membership to go to certain areas. So maybe not. I don't know. You could probably figure out a way to, you know, boost your chances of getting it. It's kind of like this with the Lord Nightshade thing. The reason that there's 4 of them here is because, keep in mind this isn't actually my Monstrodome, this is my friend's, but the reason there's 4 of them is to increase the chances of getting a drop. You know, if there was just 1, I wouldn't have gotten that many, but because there's 4, my chances are now increased. I was actually farming for snow globes, which is a housing item dropped from the Yuletide pack. It's very rare. I was farming for them at the actual Lord Nightshade earlier, and I had my balance wizard, because my storm wizard lags a lot whenever he's going from one place to another, so it's not very good for farming. Sometimes I kind of have to farm him anyways, but I use my balance this time because he can take him out in 1 hit too. And I also brought along one of my drone accounts, because if I have 2 wizards, you know, I double the chances of getting that snow globe. And I didn't actually get it because I didn't farm that long, but I got a ton of Christmas stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. He's dropping stuff like crazy right now. I mean, none of those items are rare. Alright, he was dropping snow globe, or not snow globes, snowball pets, Yuletide pets, little Yuletide Seraph or Yuletide Angel or whatever. And then dropping like little present boxes and stuff. So none of that stuff is actually a rare drop from them or anything. We got a fish. Anyways, just keep that in mind, because if you do want to farm for something, a lot of the times, if it's in the Monstrodome, having multiple, you know, more than one of the creature is the best way to go. Or if, you know, you're farming if you're farming a creature outside of the Monstrodome, usually, if you can, you want to have multiple accounts with you. You know, dual boxing, that kind of thing, because then you can double your chances of getting it. Keep in mind, and I keep saying keep in mind because there's a lot of stuff you got to keep in mind, but with this, you know, it only works if the item can be auctioned. Because if it can be auctioned, you can sell it in the bazaar, and if you're fast, you can buy it. you know, and then you just, that's how the trade community trades things from, you know, one wizard to another. You can't trade housing items straight up, so you have to sell them in the bazaar, and then they have to go and they have to buy them. And if they get bought up beforehand, then you're kind of out of luck, unless the person has a second one that they're willing to give, which isn't always the case. You know, if you fail the trade, you don't. In most trade communities, there's no way to ensure that, you know, you actually get the item that you paid for, sadly. However, that's why a lot of the people in the trade community, they are very, very fast. You know, and this stuff is planned to the very, very dot. It's not just the person buying that is doing everything they can to make sure that that item is, you know, gets through to the other person on time. It's the other person as well, the person selling it. You know, there's countdowns. There's, you know, you count down from 3, 2, 1. You say, are you ready? Then you count down from 3, you know, 2, 1. You click sell, or technically, no, you say sold first, then you click sell, and you click yes, and it's sold. And then they go and they have, you know, they've loaded it up, they see the item, and as long as they're really, really fast, they can buy it before someone else does. That's generally how that works. And just a heads up, because I thought it was crazy at first too when people would sell really rare things. Usually if you see something, unless it's a treasure card, but if you see housing items or you know, different pieces of gear that are generally considered rare but can be auctioned, if you see those in the bazaar, 9 times out of 10, that's someone in the trade community. That's not someone just randomly selling a really rare item. You know, that's someone in the trade community actually making a trade. And if you happen to buy it before, you know, someone else does, or before it gets bought up, then what that means is that, first off, that whoever the buyer was is really slow and they need to step up their game, or that's going to happen to them a lot more. It also means, though, that you kind of bought something out from under someone who just paid for that item as well. Which, you know, it is completely within your rights to do that. Obviously, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying that that's what's happening. And that's why you're seeing a bunch of rare housing items get sold. Like, people realize that these items are rare. You know, they're not stupid, but they're selling them because they're being paid to sell these items to someone else. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe for more amazing videos. I will see you guys next time, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, and have a wonderful night.